Bear with me one moment.
Yes, Ultra, that's right. Oh no, you nonce. You're gonna find.
Hopefully it plays.
I know it hurts.
Yeah, what is that? Esau, what was that?
Sounded like a dog.
A dog?
Yep.
You mean that was a dog? Why was that dog making that noise? And what hurt?
I have no idea. Ask the dog.
You are never getting your country back. You're never getting your country back. I don't want nobody fucking with me in these streets. Same children. I don't want nobody fucking with me in these streets.
I snap my fingers. You forget that you were ever gay.
I was never gay.
Exactly.
Wait, no, stop.
Yes.
No, stop. You can't. I was never gay.
Okay.
No, I was never gay.
Sure.
You can't just state something and snap your fingers and then be like, I was never gay.
If you say so. If
Good morning, pineapple. Looking very good, very nice. Good morning, pineapple. Looking very good, very nice. Good morning.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Super Ted, Thundercats, don't dare open that trap door, cause you don't know what's under that. Dick Dastardly, Muttley, remember the wacky racers, Inspector, Gadget, and Go-Go Power Rangers. Batfink, Batman, now Yogi Bear was banter. Tom and Jerry, Top Cat, don't forget about the Pink Panther. Danger Mouse, Gummy Bears, Rude Dog and the Dweebs. Mars, Centurions, what do you know about Power Extreme? Now, Scooby-Doo, wherever you, DuckTales, Looney Tunes, He-Man had a power war, but Skeletor with the Super Goon Transformers. Transformers, Madness, Prime vs Megatron, Autobots, Decepticons, Dinobots, Insecticons, the Flintstones, Jetsons, the Simpsons, the Smurfs, Greystar, X-Men, Defenders of the Earth, Thomas the Tank Engine, Popeye the Sailor Man, Richie Rich kept spending, G.I. Joe, Voltron, Garfield, Papillon, Dog D'Artagnan and the Musket Hounds, One for All for One, Dexter's Laboratory, Zelda, the Raccoons, Tailspin, Heathcliff.
Happy and glorious.
Rasta man don't apologize to nobody, boy. Made your displap people, then we're going with such a boy. Do we do all the cause I've gathered and my puppy dying at the lake up, I am an ass boy. We no apologize to nobody, boy. This kid's an acid, then we're going with such a boy. And the lake up, I am an ass. Do we the cause because of them, I won't be tied. Rasta man don't apologize to nobody, boy. Made your displap people, then we're going with such a boy. Do we do all the cause I've gathered and my puppy dying at the lake up, I am an ass boy. We no apologize to nobody, boy. This kid's an acid, then we're going with such a boy. And the lake up, I am an ass. Do we the cause because of them, I won't be tied. Rasta man don't apologize.
bumper clad plate of egg. How much are you fry? 6 bumper ass clad pussy bumper clad egg. Bumper ass clad is equal to the egg. How much are you fry? 6 egg. Bumper ass clad is equal to the egg. How much are you fry? Punching on me. Bumper ass clad is equal to the egg. How much are you fry? 6 egg. Bumper ass clad is equal to the egg. How much are you punching on me? Look on the bumper clad plate of egg. How much are you fry? 6 bumper ass clad pussy bumper clad egg. Bumper ass.
Ready, yeah? Right, hold on quickly. Hey, hold on, wait, man. Big up this guy, Andy. Big up this guy, Andy Mills. Big up Andy Mills. Andy Mills. Gemini said that. Love, my brother. Love. It's been a big one. It's been a long one. They try and fight us. They can't stop us. Solid them in the energy. Solid them in the energy sound. Who come alive? We come alive. I come alive. You come alive. We come alive. Feeling it on it. Hold on. Who's got the vibe? Some of the dance. We come alive. We come.
That's correct, man. Let the music take control, ladies. Let the music take control. We'll set champagne and shots. I want them to be right. How you mean? Come on, in reach. Take time, man. Take time. Shout to the people that put their arms flying, put their whole time on the business. I'm running with shit. 2023, when I beg, it's disgusting. Remember, without beg, it's disgusting. Trust me. Say it daily. Let's go. How you want money like that? Back to the air, you want money like that? 419, you want money like that? If you're on this thing, money like that. And to the air, money like that. 419, money like that. On this thing, oh, show me the one finger. Not the girl finger, one finger. There is one finger dance. There is one finger dance. There is one finger dance. I'm just doing the one finger dance, finger dance. There is one finger dance. Outside of London, that's how we're standing. It's cheap. It's cheap. Manchester food. Sometimes we're looking at the terminals down there, but don't really get it. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. That's not leaving the seat. That's not leaving the seat. What is that?
That's real.
angry. But the buck, if it's me or mother, you get scored, you take like dagger. Keep fighting, that's what I'm about. My thing working. Come through with the beat up Honda, give man the undertap like he on dog. Give me the mic and the guy living in the band, break the fire, that out him. I'm a Liverpool invader, climbing to the top, the 5 acre. You beat me over the container.
Yeah. Tell her boy, oi, shut up, blood. Yeah, you shut up, blood. Me a pet, me a ratty pamper. Tell us how much shut up, blood. Oh yeah, wait there. Hold on, more. Shut up, blood. I'm the original. Shut up, can't say no. You will get butter. Left with a broken nose. I leave your face again like broken toes. I got the wickedest 10 times show. Shut up, can't say nothing. If I don't jab him, swing out to him. If I miss him, swing out to him. Chinese there and he's live in 6.
A G Black are what them want. A G Black came from the start. A G Black we have to plant. The planting in our heart. She near my pins and then she fall. Me scream out what the blood clot. A G Black are what them want. A wind rush are what them want. The wind rush are what them want. Institution them want. So we tell them to stop. Be racist on the block. Good. I rasta man, I what you want. I G Black, I what you want. She want the kid that she hot. That made them keep her from the start. Hey. I made them keep her from the dance. Oh, mate. Yeah. Look up in this biatch real quick. You get me? Yeah, man. Hey, no videos. No nothing. You hear me? No link. No nothing. Yeah? Just straight votes. Yeah? From the depths of... Oh, man. Come on, we got the people them in the place. Yeah? I mean, slap the like button, share the stream, let it play. Alright, what small register, right? Let me quickly read it out before we get too many names up in there. You hear me, cuz? Yeah, man, so JY, come on, let it play. How you mean? Yeah, man, he's already blazing up the cannabis. What? Old type Hopes Police, shatter. Come on, old type man like QP, my G, they are, I am in. Yeah, man, Nebula, they are. Come on. Hey, let it play. Old tight Wendy Wu, they are. Come on, Wu-Tang forever. Wu-Tang. You hear me? Oh, woo. I am in. Ric Flair drip go, woo, on the bitch. I'm lost. What Telegram group? Yeah, man. So, previously on this channel, I uploaded a couple of screenshots from a Telegram group. Yeah, big up Sally Carter, Wagwan. Yeah, I uploaded a couple screenshots from a Telegram group, which was saying about how they want to do this, that, and the other in the riots. And bare people were saying, it's fake. It's fake. Fake news. It's not real. It's not real. It's not true. Yeah. So, investigation team. Benny, I have to be honest. You look a bit like Harvey Price in the suite. Shut up, man. Shut up, man. Shut up, Afghan, cuz you can't deadlift like me, cuz you mad. Yeah, man. Let it play. Yeah. So, alright, like I was saying, yeah. In that, there was a Telegram group before the Southport kickoff thing went a bit mad, right? And there was some screenshots going viral of people saying wild stuff in these Telegram groups and whatnot. And a lot of people were saying it was fake, it's false, it's not real. Yeah. Yeah, it's not true. It's not real. It's fake. It's false. It's fake news. You made up the screenshots. The group don't exist. Yeah. The group existed. The group was real because a news article by a company called Red Flare. They done an investigation into this group. And it ended up being, imagine this, yeah, a far-right mixed race guy from Iceland. Yeah? A far-right mixed race guy from Iceland. He was his name was AG in the group. So if you go to my community page, scroll up to the screenshots of the Telegram group, you'll see that one of the people commenting on the screenshot was a guy called AG. Yeah? So when we're telling you about these Asian racists, black racists, Iranian racists, mixed race dons that's racist, and so and so, so and so. Listen, stop, just because your mum's black, your dad's black, your husband, wife's black, so and so, so and so, it doesn't automatically take you out, right? It sounds crazy, innit? And you know, like, to people that's like not inside this speaker's corner sort of, where people are willing to test the boundaries of free speech and the things that like people think and the mindsets of this, that and the other, rah, rah, rah. A lot of people would just automatically not think that. Mixed race can't be racist. Black dude, white husband can't be racist. White woman, black husband can't be racist. You hear me? White woman, Indian husband can't be racist. You hear me? Indian man, white flipping up, can't be. You know what I'm saying? Like, whichever scenario or one and two you add up. In general, outside of these circles here, you'd think, yeah. But especially like reporters, investigators, people like police and social services sort of people, they don't really discount a lot of them things, right? Because although it might be a small chance that it could be true, there's still a chance it could be true. Yeah, me, sir, mad. Yeah, man. So, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, any of you man in Danny Roscoe's Telegram group, yeah. Yo, someone send him a stew chicken, cuz, and a rice and peas, fam. Yeah? And I love black people card. How you mean? Just me, fam. No man to start wilding out like that anyway. Yeah, alright. So that's number one. Number one. Yeah, me on the look good chart. All up your Angela, you me attack. Number one up on the look good chart. All up your Anket, you me attack. On the chart. Yeah, man. So let's get into beef number two. Not really beef, or we had a little discussion in it, you know. Yeah, Jupiter done a rage quit yesterday when we were speaking about the Rothschild grooming gangs. Obviously, the grooming gang situation is not funny or whatever, in it, yeah. And obviously, justice for anyone that's been groomed in any of those situations or whatever, in it. But it's like the reasons that was given for why grooming gangs got their pass or didn't get investigated or rah. Yeah, that troops was given to me yesterday, yeah. You know me, innit, yeah? You know, I love a report, right? Yeah, investigation report that goes in deep and finds out this, that, and the other, and, you know? So I did take a quick look at the report. I've not read it all yet. It's 172 pages, yeah? And I've got to go and do a course right now, innit? That's, so far what I've looked through, yeah? There's nothing to do with any cases of institutional racism or feeling bad because of colonization, white guilt, or any of the other reasons that was given for why these things weren't investigated properly. Yeah, so far the only thing I've seen is catastrophic failings by the GMP, Greater Manchester Police, the Rochdale Social Services, and local Rochdale councils. Yeah? So, yeah. It's that crazy still. You hear me? I can't lie, yeah. I did just go to bed straight after, innit, car. I had a lot of shit to do, yeah. I needed to get a decent night's sleep. Because today, yeah. Yeah, man. But also, I did watch an interview with a lady called Maggie Oliver. In that, and she was just talking about the failings in the people taking the incidents seriously, especially like the CPS. Keeps on saying that they don't have enough evidence to bring a case to court and all them sort of things there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't really see how that's got anything to do with the institutional racism claims that I was talking about, or that the police admitted to. The McPherson report, the flipping Casey report, even Greater Manchester Police have had a report out that states institutional racism within their shit. Yeah, mismanagement, and they don't do this, they don't do that. There's the lady that's got the case against Greater Manchester Police because she was apparently essayed in the cell. Yeah, she went and got arrested when she was mashed. There's 3-4 hours missing within the, what's it called? Within the CCTV that watches your cell. And obviously, you know, it's to cover both people's back, to cover their prisoners' back and to cover the police officers' back. They need to put the cell on camera, right? And obviously they won't let you take things like shoelaces and so in the cell, so you can't hang yourself or do any sort of harm to yourself and them sort of things there. Yeah, so you know, and I'm saying, yeah. Oh, I'm saying, like, differently, if there's any evidence that points to them being like, to it being racist or whatever, bring it forward. I'll shout from the rooftops about that shit, cuz like I don't know why you keep trying to make it into something where it's like, raw, it's only racism against one special community that would never get spoke about. No, if you bring evidence forward, you speak about it. Yeah, when Dave was bringing his the different documentaries, I can't remember, the Grape of Britain or something like that. Yeah, we sat through all of them. Yeah, more times. Yeah, man didn't really even go hard in trying to question the opposing side of rah. It was just like certifying what the people then was, the testimonies that they was giving on their, what's it called, like on the DVD or the interview they did with Tommy Robinson and them man there. You hear me? Well, obviously, you guys are Tommy Robinson fans, right? So you guys are just gonna accept what he says as female black. For me, like, a more independent sort of person that I wouldn't think would have an agenda to point it one way or the other would have been like that lady called Maggie Oliver. She's an ex-Fed. She didn't feel like the Feds were doing whatever, started up her own charity to start investigating these things and so on. Yeah, because that's the report that I downloaded was the report that she was speaking about on the interview. And that's from this year. Yeah, 2024. into the Rochdale grooming gang incidents, mistakes made, and blah blah blah. Yeah, man. From time we've been telling you the police are on some pagan shit, cuz, yeah. Yeah, and it's strange, yeah, that a lot of working class people wouldn't hold the same sort of sentiments, yeah, because, right, in the block that I know, or that I know about, yeah, the man them still get mistreated on class terms or whatever as well, or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? Like, right, certain man might get a little bit more of a blight than the others, but, yeah, the man them still under pressure though, cuz. Especially if you start to get known as the local blah blah blah, then your name's getting called up every 2 seconds. Your door's flying off every 2 seconds. Yeah, but what's another thing yesterday? This was all after hours, man, so it won't even be recorded, did it? Yesterday, without speaking with Baxter, Jupiter, LS. Jupiter done a review. You know Jupiter's like, she's a lunatic, innit? She probably done a rage quit and went live. I was called him by the pagan all night. Yeah. You see on this channel, yeah? I can't do none of my sneaky spying again now, right? On my other channel, I was slightly subscribed to everyone's channel. On this channel, I'm just subscribed to the channels that I was subscribed to like 4 years ago. You hear me? Like, so I ain't even getting a notification if anyone goes live unless they at me in the title. You know what I'm saying? But, oh my days, don't at me though, man. Yeah. Fall back a little bit, don't at me. Yeah, man. So, Banksy and his two-tier policing, we're on the same side, we've got the same fight sort of thing. It's like, Banks, you just decided that yesterday, yeah? Yeah, you decided that yesterday, cuz. Like, I can't lie, yeah, Jupiter did say that ages ago to me, yeah? Yeah, that's yeah, I got between the blinking, you know. Banksy trying to say like, raw. The two-tier policing that he's speaking about is the same one that we're speaking about, and we're trying to fight against it. I'm like, no, it ain't, bro. Like, that's not what you're talking about, yeah. The two-tier policing that you're talking about is actually the police carrying out the job that they're supposed to be doing, yeah. The police carrying out the job that they're actually supposed to be doing. Yeah? And their man's calling that two-tier police and that. Right, if you write something... Listen, if I write something wild on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, so-and-so, talking about we should go and do this criminal act at said place, or we should carry out said attack on said worshipping place, we should carry out said attack on said group of people, or whatever, any of them sort of things, yeah. But you know what's gonna happen to you, man? Like, people write them shits in rages of fits, right? When you're having an argument with someone, you know, you might text something like, bro, I'll slap you or something stupid or whatever, yeah? But, man, can't wait to hear you and that end of your tune as Love the Police. Man, never, man. How you mean? I need to get that tune still. I can spin that F the Police and that without the copyrights and that still. I don't know actually. It's on it's on someone's a copyrighted beat, but the man them is spitting on it daily. Yeah, pause. The man them are laying bars on it still. Yeah. Pause for the man them is spitting on it. You hear me, cuz? How you mean? Aye. Yeah, man, so this two-tier policing that Banks is trying to tell us about, and the actual two-tier policing that man's complaining about, yeah? For me, it's two different things, innit? Yeah, anytime the better guy and in heavy-handed, mistreating citizens, rah, 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 you know, it's pagans and they do that shit all the time, innit, yeah? So, yeah, we want that to stop, cuz, but the same sort of thing, cuz. I don't see how we can join forces in this argument where you man's arguments ain't the same as us. I don't think so. I don't think so. In the end, really and truly, yeah, your whole argument is going to come down to some super race war where you want to kick all this one out, that one out, and so and so, so and so. You want to dash these one out. You want to dash that one. You want to dash this one out. You want to dash so and so out. You want to dash rah rah rah. You hear me, cuz? Are you mad? And what? I'm just supposed to agree with that, brother. Even if the foreigners that you're talking about ain't the foreigners that come from my country or whatever, like, well, I'm the child of an immigrant in the UK. Random saying that multiculturalism is broken and don't work and so and so, so and so. I'm like, well, I'm not too sure still. There could be definitely improvements made. Yeah. Some things can be better for the poorest and weakest in society. You know? Certain groups don't get marginalized and blah, 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 blah. But, yo, I don't know about this style. Multiculturalism ain't working and broken Britain and rah, 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 rah. And you know what, actually, yeah? What I'm saying, I got a fucking interview in it, yeah? I want to, you know what, actually? Oh, shit. Alright, fuck it, yeah. Let me run it now, innit, man? I got 1 hour and this little bit of traffic's building up still. And the interview's 45 minutes. Don't be dangerous. See? Hey, Mario, lose your bumper club, princess. Mad. Yo. Oh, for Toad found out, yo. Toad found out he's a yardie and went mad. How you mean? I'm a bad man from round here to move from on ya. Come on, a dangerous. Yo. Hey. Yo. How you mean? Panty fly without no passport. Mad. Yeah. Alright. Let me get back to serious season. Wait, before we get back to serious season, yeah? This is how my nan moves in church, yeah? Bad nan, how you mean? Yeah, bad grandma in church. How you mean? This is my nan in church. Yeah, man. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. How you mean? Yeah, man. Yeah. You see Nanny dancing with hard face and all that. Nanu still coffee, you know. Man, you get puff, puff. Why you swacking the blood? Body stiff like him, a float in the flood. I mean. I am G-Block Rise and Rifle was soaking the mud. When we are war, remember say, back in our car. Man. Alright, let's get serious, man. Yeah. Yeah, back to serious, man. Let it play.
Hello and welcome to Spectator TV. I'm Kate Andrews, the Spectator's economics editor, and I'm joined today by Rory Sutherland, our weekly columnist. Rory, thanks for joining me. You write for the magazine this week that we are in desperate need of a Mad Men era of politics. What do you mean?
I think our political class is dominated and our decision making is dominated by lawyers and economists. In fact, Richard Thaler, the Nobel Prize winning economist, ironically said, and he said it as a criticism, that the US government is run by lawyers who occasionally take advice from economists. Anybody interested in helping the economists out need not apply. And we have, and you see it in the profusion of Oxford PPE graduates, you have a vast overdominance of particular mindset.
Listen to this interview real good. Yeah? All the issues that my man's gonna talk about of why he feels like Britain is falling behind in the pace it should be setting internationally, nationally, locally, you know? Yo, he's gonna lay out a million different issues. And you know what issue he's not gonna say? Yeah? You know what he's not gonna say? He's not gonna say nothing about asylum seekers. He's not gonna say nothing about immigrants, migrants. Yeah? He's not gonna say nothing about illegal immigrants or any of that other bollocks that people keep bargaining about. Yeah? I'm gonna lay their blame at the feet of the people that have the power to change shit. Anger in the right direction. You get it? Yeah, you get it now. You understand? Ah, you heard me? Alright, let it play.
In political and governmental decision making. And one of the costs we pay for this, I think, I made the point in my article that voting Labour, but then getting a chancellor who's a Bank of England economist by training, is a bit like going on a Club 1830 holiday and taking your parents along. It kind of defeats the object of the exercise. And one of the things I would have hoped to see from a change of government is a government that had the capability to be pretty extravagant in a few areas. And one area where I'd particularly like to see it would be infrastructure expenditure, including but not confined to house building. And we've created a world where, in order for anything...
All right? Yeah, spending more money on infrastructure, including house building, all the things that they're not spending money on that they should be, instead of all the stupid things. And, what do they call it again? Red tape, bureaucracy. You know what's mad, yeah? You know, don't worry about that still, yeah, but yeah, the red tape, the bureaucracy, and that amount of cost is costing for management consultants and other side attachment shits to be able to fucking put an extra lane on the road. I mean, build a new train station, open a reservoir in a town to make it bigger, build new flats, update the public transport, make the trains run faster, build new train lines. But the main thing is building housing. Because, yo, the housing market, yeah, and the prices going up there is being used as one of the things to prop up the economy. But it's a double-edged sword, right? Because now people are getting priced out of being able to buy their first house until they going hard for like 10, 15 years or something now. Ask your parents how long they saved up to get their first property. Yeah. Ask them. And even at a high interest rate payback, yeah? Was it affordable for them to pay it back? Ask them, man. Now for the man, those parents should be at least in the end years of their mortgage. Your mortgage should be clear now, free. You hear me? Mad. But yeah, man. Hey, Rory. Hey, Weeper. Rory. Mad. Star love. Let it play.
Thing to happen. It requires permission from a lawyer and an economist. And economists set the bar in many cases far too high. The bar of proof, if you like. In other words, you have to do a precise cost-benefit analysis for anything using an economic model. I would argue there are a lot of things, particularly transport infrastructure expenditure, where the economic model will very frequently undervalue the gains from infrastructure expenditure, because I think gains from infrastructure expenditure actually compound over time. They're a bit like your pension. It's not a linear benefit. Effectively, when you provide infrastructure, lots and lots of new economic activity can happen on the back of it. And that infrastructure would include road building, investment in trains. It would also include better broadband connectivity. And in the UK particularly, much less crappy mobile connectivity, where I think our mobile service in Britain is an embarrassment compared to countries like Greece and Portugal.
That's a fact, cuz, like, you know, you can tell by my fucking reception. I travel all over the fucking southeast. Yeah, certain times it's mad to get some reception around here. You get me? Yeah, man. Update the public infrastructure and all them sort of things there. But I was saying the same shit, right? Like, so if they build like new towns and cities and infrastructure and whatever, then other new little businesses have to facilitate these areas. Then other little entrepreneurial bits and pieces, people make up their own little thing. Someone might have a little cafe, have a little shop doing this, that and the other, corner shop, supermarket, offices. Do you know what I'm saying? And other facilities that facilitate whatever business is popular or having a trend around them areas, and so and so. Like, obviously, it creates other avenues to build more fucking tax revenue for the actual country, innit? And so it's mad that it's not. You hear me? What do you mean? Man, I'm up on the corner, a bad man, and we are dangerous. Bad boy up on the corner, some more from Rania. Come on, a dangerous. Why? I told him, imagine that. Hey, mad. Trust me. Hey, spin that again, man. Come on, let it play. Lord. Lord. Some more from Anya. Come on, a dangerous. Are you bad? Yeah, man. Hey. Mad, let tell you, cuz. Alright, Rory, talk to them.
For example. And when you invest in those things, the benefits grow effectively exponentially over time. You know, the Victorians spent massively on infrastructure. There was huge economic growth. I think that's causation, not correlation. Now, when you demand that everything has to make perfect economic sense in advance, and it also has to pass ridiculous hoops of legal approval, it becomes impossible to do anything. Okay, with one exception, actually, which is if you propose something truly massive, like High Speed 2 or hosting the Olympics, all the new normal criteria effectively get ignored because those are big enough to kind of reach escape velocity. And often those things are actually rather stupid. Whereas in order to get something medium-sized done, first of all, people can now, I don't mind legal challenges which stop things happening. But increasingly, the effect of legal challenges is to provide a degree of friction for any kind of useful economic activity, which makes the whole thing just insanely painful and bureaucratic and time-consuming to a point where nobody can be bothered to do anything at all. And then you have these economic models, which I think are perfectly healthy in certain contexts, but in the field of infrastructure, I think they're fundamentally wrong-headed. I think it was PJ O'Rourke, who's a bit of a hero of mine, who said, look, you know, as a right-wing person, I don't get that grumpy when the government builds a bridge, because it may not be the best use of your money, but at least you have a bridge. And so this combination of lawyers and economists and the domination of those two modes of thought in our political class is not only problematic in terms of it actually prevents economic growth because you set the burden of proof far too high. You make experimentation very difficult because everything you do has to make sense in advance and has to be quantified in advance. If you'd asked Christopher Columbus to do a cost-benefit analysis, he never would have been able to leave port. Never mind the fact that he'd probably have to do an environmental impact study and a health and safety report before he even boarded the boat. Okay, so we have this absurd amount of friction which is being created, but also it's fundamentally problematic because they're both quite boring disciplines. If you look at really interesting people, you may hate Elon Musk. Okay, it's not boring. Okay, the really interesting people, the entrepreneurs, are usually, if you like, they're neurodiverse. Greg Jackson of Octopus Energy would be a really interesting case in point of someone who's just remarkably unusual in his approach to thinking. Same with Bezos, for example. Same with most really interesting entrepreneurs. And instead, our mode of thinking is constrained by these fundamentally kind of tedious disciplines, which have no appetite for fun or pleasure, which only value those things that they can measure, but also they don't believe in magic. And I know that sounds a ridiculous thing to say, but there are lots and lots of...
Man, you said the word there, boy. They don't believe in magic. Oh, mate. Where's cognitive dissonance at, cuz? Where's Mr. P at? I mean, they don't believe in love, sex, and magic. I mean, G-Block here, up in the club with love, sex, and magic. Man. Ha, ha. Yeah. Alright, so, ooh. Hold on. I'm like, no. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, man, so, we need to start building, talking about medium-sized infrastructure and things that actually bring improvement to other, you know what I'm saying, like local businesses or transport to and from whatever area, or like you said, the mobile reception would be a good thing in it because this online business thing is real in the UK. Even trading or whatever, yeah, you need a good reception to be able to, you know what I mean, buy and sell at certain so and so. But if you're going in for a fucking IPCO, yeah, and you got to press the button and it needs to connect to whatever server in a certain amount of time, We need strong reception in the UK, fam. If I want live stream from the middle of nowhere to you, man, in the comfort of your home, we need strong reception, fam, in the fucking UK, cuz. Yeah, man, so... Remember the man that was licking down 5G towers and that? That's why we need facts. More facts, less fiction. But like my man saying, some of the magic in believing that you're going to build something or do something that, create something that other people weren't thinking of. Yeah, man. Alright, go on then. Blue.
Things that happen in life, penicillin to take one example, or the air fryer, okay, which are kind of magic. Okay, you know, this doesn't arise from a trade-off. Economics always looks at everything through the lens of a trade-off, because when you have a trade-off, you have a single point optimization problem, which means you come up with a single defensible solution or response to a problem, which can't be argued with. Actually, the best things in life aren't the result of a trade-off, they're a result of something akin to a miracle. And if you have these dismal people, you know, lawyers and economists who don't believe in magic, one, they won't look for magic in the first place, and secondly, they'll refuse to believe in it when evidence is presented to them. And I genuinely think it's a problem.
Rory, isn't the problem that there's no incentive for the entrepreneurs, the people who have these incredible visions for the world, to go into politics? As you say, if you look at the bureaucracy surrounding the state and everything that it encompasses, why would those who believe in magic opt to do that kind of job? They would, of course, stay in the private sector where they can innovate.
One of the interesting things is there are very interesting people in politics, and there are people I know who are MPs, and I'll give Jesse Norman as an example, who are genuinely extraordinary people. His wife probably even more extraordinary, but they don't stick around very long. And it seems to me there's a kind of immune response in politics that anybody who's a deviant thinker, effectively, the immune system serves to kind of affect them or constrain them. I mean, if you look at people who aren't conventional, what you might call legal economic members of the autostocracy, whether it's Trump or Boris Johnson, okay, whenever one of these people emerges, everything in the establishment does everything they possibly can to set the white blood cells of the establishment upon them. And I think, by the way, I think that populism, which is often wrongly conflated with kind of nationalism and racism, partly emerges from the fact that most people making decisions at the highest level are doing so on the basis of mental models which are 2 or 3 stages removed from everyday life as it's lived.
You know, Roy, I thought this was a very interesting part of your column where you talk about popularism. You say it's not actually about migration. That's not the number one issue on people's mind. The problem is that they think that any area of public policy, whether it be immigration.
Yeah. The way he's talking about immigration, yeah, the way he's talking about the way the issues get dealt with, I think all of us are guilty of what he's talking about, right? Where the people that, well, me, definitely, yeah, the people that are setting out these laws, rules and regulations, yeah, they got the tools to be able to fix the shit, innit? Like, so it should be on them, on how feeling the pressure of the citizens complaining about the things that they're unhappy about. Should be on those people should be feeling it.
Or something to do with the public finances, whether it be education or healthcare, they think that the public policy is set. And lawyers say no, and economists say, if you do this, the economy will collapse. I mean, look at what's happened around the winter fuel allowance. You had ministers suggesting that if you didn't cut £1.5 billion worth of spending, which is a heck of a lot of money, but pennies compared to the overall spend of the Treasury in a fiscal year, that there'd be a run on the pound. that the economy would collapse, the idea that everything is always on the brink and nothing can be done, is ultimately what frustrates the public.
Yeah, and partly, by the way, it's not only what is done.
Yeah, definitely, because it's like enough times, instead of dealing with the issue early, prevention's better than cure and all that, the man are waiting until the shit's crumbling at the seams and you have to repair it, you have to fix it. Like the school buildings, the rotting concrete. Man are waiting until you have to fix it. How many reports did they receive that the shit's going down? Yeah, she's American though, innit, man? So, nah. Thinking that Americans gonna have love for NHS is bad. yeah. It's calm. She's conducting an interview, yeah. It's all about what Rory's saying. He's laying out how the government can catch back up with the other people, the other countries. It was on par with development, infrastructure, living standards. Living standards as well. I'm sure everyone wants their living standards to improve. Yeah? So people that everyone thinks are in a better position than them, to the people below them. Everyone wants their living standards to improve in it. Quality of life. Alright. Raising quality of life, yeah. We'll definitely get Keir Starmer next term as Prime Minister. Yeah, I know, man. I know. It's a right-wing newspaper. It's a right-wing newspaper, but like differently. Man don't care about left or right, cause man care about what the man them saying, innit? Like, right, if the man saying something that man can agree with, then let it play. Yeah, because, but yo, especially, yeah, even better, yeah, if the man is saying shit that man disagree with, yeah, then let it play even more, yeah, because you know how this shit goes around there, fam. Yeah, but alright, we got like 30 minutes left. We ain't gonna get through it all still, man. I gotta wrap it up like 5 minutes before I get this. 25 minutes. Yeah, let it play.
But the speed at which it happens. Because it's incomprehensible to most people that the government isn't all powerful. You know, the people vote for a government on the assumption that it can do the things they ask it to do. And this idea, I think, increasingly of what's sometimes called lawfare, where people use legal mechanisms to effectively attain political ends, or more likely to thwart, effectively policies and behaviors which are actually the will of the people, is deeply damaging to our faith in democracy. Because, we do effectively, one of the reasons we're happy to defer power to a government is the belief that they can actually affect things that we can't individually. And when government becomes increasingly ineffectual because it's tied up either in kind of ludicrous kind of economic theories, which, I'm not wholly convinced by the need for austerity to the extent to which it's delivered. I think there should be areas in which government is actually conspicuously extravagant. As I said, infrastructure expenditure. There was a very interesting libertarian governor of New Mexico in the US, a guy called Gary Johnson. And he basically, he was a little like Ron Swanson on Parks and Recreation, in that he hated most forms of government expenditure and slashed them viciously, with two exceptions, which were education and investment in roads and infrastructure, where he spent lavishly. He effectively had the slogan, if you want to have economic growth, you've got to have a 4-lane highway. And I would argue that one of the interesting things, which is a simple comparative experiment, is if you go to 3 countries, Portugal, Spain, or Greece, I would argue that to an extraordinary extent, they pissed money up the wall on infrastructure to an astounding degree. I mean, Spain has far too many airports, for example. It's utterly ridiculous. And the airports they have are too big. However, and this is an important qualification, those three countries, in terms of quality of life and, you might argue, economic performance, have actually benefited rather a lot. And I'm not proposing levels of infrastructure expenditure or indeed building on the on the level of say Spain 15 years ago, but our complete incapacity to
building more infrastructure is definitely going to benefit everyone here right now and in the future. Building better infrastructure and transport links, housing, the new areas, and just opening up the country a bit more, making transport links between these different areas of the country more sufficient, on time, and so on. So, listen, I've done a video on TikTok here where Lord Prem Sikka got some stats here. He works for a paper called Left Forward, right? So he put out some stats. I think it was in 97 or something, or in 2007 or something, when railways were nationally owned. Like the money that they was, what's it called? They get the grant or whatever that they received was like 1.7 billion, and 80% of the trains were on time, with some of the lowest fares in Europe. In 2024, you've got some of the highest fares in Europe. It's privatized, and less than 70% of the trains are on time, innit? Like, so privatization hasn't worked for things like national rail, public infrastructure, energy. Look how much we're getting fleeced. We're getting straight robbed. You know how much the gas bill is and the electric bill is every month. I'm telling the man to turn off the tap when they're brushing their teeth now. Yo, turn off the tap, cuz. Wet your toothbrush, turn off the tap, brush your teeth, then open the tap to wash out the sink after. Yeah? Bamba clot. Those things should be nationalized, cuz, you know? That's the lowest part of our spending and all them sort of things there, but hey. Yeah, these private companies are like taking the piss. Obviously, they care more about profits and so on, right? On something like that, Thames Water's basically got a monopoly in it, because there's no other water company that could give them competition for Thames Water. Like, Thames Water just runs the water of all the areas that are supplied by Thames Water. So, yeah, it's mad. How's it got to like that? Remember British Gas and all them sort of things there? Yo, it's bonkers, mate. Yeah? I worked at the power plants as well, you know, what's it called? National Grid. The National Grid and all that sort of stuff there, you know what I'm saying? So it's different companies that's tapping into the existing lines that National Grid have already set up for the electricity around the country. That we rent their meters from. They rent it from them and charge us a bit on top, a percentage on top. And then they're allowed to fluctuate the prices that they charge us for electricity and gas. This is how much of a pagan thing our government is, and the private companies, When the Conservatives were in power, it was going through financial crisis and having to tighten belts, these men were able to keep raising the profits, cuz. Like, yeah, man, they was taking the piss out of us, man. All of us. Yeah, every single citizen, poor, rich, and in between. Yeah. If you have a property what you stay in, you pay rent in, even if you're on housing benefit or whatever, the one thing that you ain't getting for free is your gas and electric, right? You still have to, and even that, it's not for free, right? You're just getting subsidized rent. But there will still be some money that you have to pay in it, because it's not just totally free. Yeah? But wow, man. Hey, we got 20 minutes left, fam. Let it play.
Build is just an embarrassment. It's ridiculous. I mean, by the way, I mean, you know, actually challenging NIMBYism is a moment whose time has come. I mean, the extent to which people who live in cities are allowed to object to bars opening on the basis of noise pollution or something. Or
hey, that sounds like the grandam, I lie. Man don't want to complain about city life inside the city. Yeah, man want rural life inside hustle and bustle city and that. You know? It's a compromise that has to be made, right? Rural life will get quite sleepy, leafy towns and shit, man. City life's going to be hustle and bustle, man. You know, it's 24 hours. There's people that work the night time shit, and then people that work the daytime shit, and then there's people that are in between that. You hear me? Yeah, man. So, alright. Was he talking about NIMBYism? Yeah. Namby-pambies. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like, that's more like the bureaucracy and the red tape, like fucking management agencies, this one and that one and the other one, that you have to go through to get this shit done. You know, but yeah, man, play.
Because people might be outside the bar at 11 o'clock at night. I'm sorry, if you're going to bed before 11 o'clock at night, you shouldn't live in a city. Piss off and go and live in an island somewhere. You know, the extent to which people seem to think they have the right to live in urban settings but demand rural levels of quiet. One of the reasons France is quite successful economically in its weird kind of way is actually there's a lot of noisy and there's a lot of ugly in France. Now, they have got more space, okay? But one of the interesting things about France is there's extraordinary sort of tolerance of noise. There's extraordinary lack of resistance to, for example, road building or rail building. For the most part, you do get pockets of protest. But a large part of the value of that kind of thing, whether it's nuclear power stations or whether it's high-speed rail, which I'm slightly skeptical about, undoubtedly, however, we can see cases where what you might call medium-sized pieces of investment in infrastructure and building, high-speed one would be an extraordinary case study, for instance, really, really contribute to economic elevation. I mean, you know, East Kent has been, you know, a combination, I suppose, of flexible working and high-speed one has kind of completely transformed that economy. And I think the extent to which everything we do takes too long, costs too much, and requires, I've got a vague memory that the tunnel across the Thames that connects Kent with Essex, before a single spade of earth has been dug, it's cost about the same price as actually building a tunnel. In other
bang. Yo, so I was telling you about this bureaucracy, red tape shit that's costing extra bread to even start the projects. That's why these companies are ducking out, bruv, and they're going to other places to build infrastructure and shit. All this red tape, just draining the funds of the people that's trying to build these shits before the shits get built. And it's not been beneficial to any of us, cuz. Only to a couple people who can get little kickbacks off of these little breads that they're making up from. Like, even the Dartford Tunnel, That's built by a French company. They were supposed to build it, earn the money from it, and then send it back to the UK. But it's still not free. Yeah, they've not sent it back, and it's a good money spinner. So it's mad still. It's mad still. All those issues cuts, like I never hear none of you man complaining about any of that shit there. These man are taking the piss out of us, bro. Like, they're straight taking the piss out of us, guys. So, yeah, bro. How you mean? Oh, shit. Yeah, man. All right, God. Play.
The countries, and I think the paperwork runs to 600,000 pages on the overall report. I mean, this is really a kind of
600,000 pages on a report to build fucking Dartford Crossing. And then you wonder why there's backlogs of asylum seekers piled up in hotels. Yeah, this is telling you why, cuz. Give you the reasons there. Because it takes a 600-page fucking report to build Dartford Crossing, cuz. Alright. Yeah, trust me. Trust me, alright, let it play.
legal form of wealth extraction on an extraordinary scale. You could probably add management consultancies into the mix as well as the third horseman of the bureaucratic apocalypse.
I should note that Gary Johnson was also a 2016 presidential candidate in the US, and
he was, tragically, if only. Right.
few of us thought he was the best candidate. Few of us thought he was far better than the two mainstream options. I want to talk about this point about infrastructure. It's so important because I think people are moving in your direction, Rory. There seems to be a growing consensus that one of the major problems in the UK is that simply nothing gets built. But there are two major issues here. One you've already touched upon, and that is NIMBYism. And it is that horrible combination that your article talks about, where the planning regulation and the ability to use the law to shut down absolutely any kind of planning development, it creates a scenario where very little often gets built. But we have another problem too, and that brings us back to the politics of this, that every government, every hopeful government, dare I say, actually every opposition, talks about capital spending. They talk about the need for more infrastructure, for more economic growth. But then they get into power, they've got 4 to 5 years, and they look at day-to-day spending, and they look at what's really popular with the public, and that's cash now for the health service, for education. And successive governments, and not just governments, but political parties, Labour and Tory, have raided those capital spending budgets for day-to-day spending. And this is across the political spectrum. Everybody gets in there. They have these hopeful dreams about what could be built in 10, 15 years, but instead they spend the money on day-to-day spending. What do you...
That's one thing that's cross-party. None of these men ain't took the time to update the infrastructure the actual way that actually needs to be updated. Man, them just keep trying to win the daily battles instead of the long actual war on making Britain better. We're supposed to be making Britain better, Release the sausages and all that, is it? Mad. God. Yeah, man, so I got a flick in a sec, yeah, so...
do about that? How do you change those incentives? That's incredibly tricky for a politician to say, you know what, we're going to have to make some tough decisions on these things that I know the public cares most about, because in 15 years, we're going to have a fantastic rail station, we're going to have a new airport, we're going to have green energy infrastructure, which actually really will reduce your bills in the long term. But that doesn't help them get elected in 5 years' time.
Well, first of all, you can do something which should be done much more often, which is just to come completely clean with the public.
Very daring.
Politicians who have done so have repeatedly succeeded. Secondly, the extent to which the headline announcement is always about more money rather than more innovation. I mean, the potential for innovation in healthcare is significant. The third thing I would argue is that government doesn't really have a marketing function. Politics has a massive PR function in terms of press relations, and indeed is dangerously over-obsessed, I would argue, with press reporting and public opinion in that kind of very shallow kind of media way. But in terms of understanding the reason those companies, okay, if you look at the companies that have really survived in the Fortune 500 or the, or the FTSE, okay, they tend to be kind of Unilever, Procter and Gamble, okay, Reckitt Benckiser, Nestle. And the reason they survive is they have, and John Kay writes about this in his recent book, The Corporation in the 21st Century, they have a large marketing function which concentrates on continually staying relevant to what consumers want. And I don't think government has I think both of those two disciplines, law and economics, are slightly aspergic, in that they understand numbers and models, but they're not very good at understanding people or reality. And one of the things, and this is slightly contentious, okay, but I will say it is quite cheap, relatively speaking, to improve the patient experience from the NHS. Now, if you're a purist, you only measure sort of quality of health outcomes, and you have some economic model in terms of quality adjusted life years, and that stuff's really important. I'm not disputing that. But the better businesses know that consumers also care about trivial things like how you're treated, whether you're treated with respect, whether people answer the telephone, that kind of detail. And I think, there's an opportunity for public services to get much, much better at this kind of thing, but they don't really have a marketing function of asking, what does value really mean to people in terms of what are the things that actually materially improve their lives, as distinct from pure economic measures of wealth.
God damn, I just rewinded the fucking old pussy old video, man. Lord have mercy. It was about 3/4 of the way, about halfway, just over halfway through, yeah? Or just under halfway through still. It's like a 43-minute video. We're not gonna get to the end of it still, because, I got a rap soon still, man, but yo, no lies told, right? Like man's saying, cuz, bro, if quality of life improves for the majority of people in the UK, Keir Starmer's definitely got another term and can work on making things a little bit more better, easing the stress of bills and mortgage payments and so on, so interest rates and rah. Ease that off a little bit, man. Yeah. I don't know, what other sort of funding measures can the government go through, yeah? What other funding measurements could the government go through to raise money from or for the government or whatever, without raising taxes? Every time we're talking about, they need to raise tax on the top that 10 million plus, man, them. They keep raising it on the fucking working class, middle working class, upper, not the people that's over the fucking, you know what I'm saying, over the edge. And man, we're just getting mad guap and able to, so, yeah, I'm not even too sure still, man. That's why I was asking, like, bro, what other measurements could they go through to raise more funds without putting a strain on the people, them, you know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely think that nationalising energy, rail, water means that would take a dent in the thing, well, but in the long run, it will end up being a net profit, right? Because whatever happens, we need water, electric, gas. Yeah, whatever happens, we need public infrastructure to travel on. We need roads, schools, cars. I mean, sorry, not cars. We need roads, schools, colleges, businesses, homes, and all the other infrastructure that goes with spending more money, innit? Yeah. Hey, I just went past a place called Ugly Sound. Mad. Jeez. Let me see if I'll get back to where I was.
Conspicuously extravagant. As I said, infrastructure expenditure. There was a very interesting libertarian governor of New Mexico in the US, a guy called Gary Johnson. I mean, by the way, I mean, you know, actually challenging NIMBYism is a moment whose time has come. I mean, the extent to which people who live in cities are allowed to object to bars opening on the basis of noise pollution or something, or because people might be outside the bar at 11 o'clock at night. I'm sorry, if you're going to bed before 11 o'clock at night, you shouldn't live in a city. Piss off and go and live in an island somewhere. You know, the extent to which people seem to think they have the right to live in urban settings but demand rural levels of quiet. One of the reasons France is quite successful economically in its weird kind of way is actually, there's a lot of noisy and there's a lot of ugly in France. Now, they have got more space, okay? But one of the interesting things about France is there's extraordinary sort of tolerance of noise. There's extraordinary lack of resistance to, for example, road building or rail building. For the most part, you do get pockets of protest. But a large part of the value of that kind of thing, whether it's nuclear power stations or whether it's high-speed rail, which I'm slightly skeptical about, undoubtedly, however, we can see cases where what you might call medium-sized pieces of investment in infrastructure and building, high-speed one would be an extraordinary case study, for instance, really, really contribute to economic elevation. I mean, you know, East Kent has been, you know, a combination, I suppose, of flexible working and high-speed one has kind of completely transformed that economy. And I think the extent to which everything we do takes too long, costs too much, and requires, I've got a vague memory that the tunnel across the Thames that connects Kent with Essex, before a single spade of earth has been dug, it's cost about the same price as actually building a tunnel in other countries. And I think the paperwork runs to 600,000 pages on the overall report. I mean, this is really a kind of econo-legal form of wealth extraction on an extraordinary scale. You could probably add management consultancies into the mix as well as the third horseman of the bureaucratic apocalypse.
I that Gary Johnson was also a 2016 president. But
Oh, I my bad. Reception ducked out still, man, but yeah, man. So yeah, that's the basic wrap up of that video, innit? Yeah, that the government could manage the country better if they take some better steps in updating things like infrastructure and public services, nationalising things like energy, rail and water, and leaving entrepreneurial private business to the other sort of things like that's, you know what I'm saying, entrepreneurial and private, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah? Improve, rise up our lifestyle, cuz. But listen, yeah? On the way back, I'm going to do a live stream still after the course, yeah? It's going to take a good few hours though, man. You know what I mean? Like, so it'll be I don't know. Be like a late lunch, early dinner sort of one, yeah? Alright. Listen. How you mean? Wait, hold on a sec. Let me send you a message from Toad first, yeah?
Hello and welcome to Spectator TV.
Oh,
I'm Kate
shit,
Andrews, the
that
Spectator's
was-
economics
oh,
editor,
damn.
and I'm joined today by Rory Sutherland, our
Oh,
weekly
excellent then.
columnist. Rory, thanks for joining me. You write for the magazine this week that we are in desperate need of a Melbourne era of politics. What do you mean?
Guy who I was very much in love with. I knew he was bisexual, but I was okay with that. I was fine. It's like whatever. You know, I know
So
you don't.
he'd go off to other men and leave you.
No, not at all. He was in love with me, but he did.
What she means is he done that before. Like at one point, he probably did think of her men, but when he's a version of her, I've done it myself before. I know that. Like, oh, Jesus! Oh no! Bye, Saw.